How does you getting 5 levels from a single dungeon run sound? Honestly, pretty insane, but you can actually do that now, all while you progress the new event, unlock newly added transmogs, and just progress your account. And once you get a new character at level 80, I'll even help you get it kitted out with gear too. So let's get stuck in. First, I gotta start with experience. From now to January 7th, XP buffs are going to be flowing freely. I'll go over them now. First, we've got the Warband bonus. This is a 5% account-wide XP buff that is per max level character, and it caps out at 25%. So that's a nice baseline. Then we've got 2 buffs that come from the 20th anniversary event. The first one is 10%, and it's always on, and the second one is a 12-hour buff from doing the daily quest in the Caverns of Time. Now sadly, this one is per character, not account-wide, and completing the daily involves doing some event activities, and some of those are really slow. But that's okay, I have a way of doing it fast. Here's how you do that. Get the pet mirror item from the chest beside Petra. Use that to turn yourself into a pet, and then bravely hide inside the baskets you'll find dotted around the event grounds. Your progress will tick up while you're in the basket, and if there's a ball beside your basket, you'll be able to tick that progress up even faster. Our go-to spot is here. It's between Isaac Kadyrov and Dr. Gregory Victor near the ice rink. So this is really easy. It's by far the easiest option. Others, like using the ice rink, are 1% every few seconds, or maybe getting 25% for doing an entire time-walking dungeon. So this is a humongous time saving, and there is a saving grace. While this is not account-wide, the 12-hour duration only counts when you're logged in. So just don't leave your character logged in. If you're not playing it, log out and you'll save your buff. And that means that to hit level 80, you'll probably only need it once or twice. But it is of course not where the XP ends. It is Hallows End from now until November 8th. And if you use the bonfire located outside Stormwind Undercity, that will get you a 10% XP and rep buff for 2 hours. And in terms of travel, you can easily pick up the Caverns of Time daily, then port back and pick up this one. Then of course there's the Darkmoon Fair. It's actually up November 3rd through 8th, and generally it's up pretty regularly. Just check your in-game calendar. If you head there and ride around the carousel, you'll get a 10% buff to XP and rep that lasts for an hour. But to be honest, the travel time makes that kind of blow, so I rarely use it. But that's okay, there's actually a better way. You can purchase this, which is the Darkmoon Top Hat. These cost 10 prize tickets, and they are a consumable that you can keep in your bag. And that means you can get the 10% buff no matter where you're at. And I should also say that while today's video has been focused on experience, don't sleep on the rep buff component here. A total reputation buff of 40% is absolutely wild, and when it is both Darkmoon Fair, Hallows End, and the anniversary event, you'll be able to get a 40% buff, especially if you're doing big turn-ins like say your weekly dungeon quest or tier 8 bountiful delves. You'll just get loads of renown. There are 2 more XP sources though. War mode will boost mob and quest XP by 10%, and that can be activated from your talent pane at level 20. Finally, there's the Draft of 10 Lands. It's a 10% XP buff potion that costs 5 service medals from the service medal vendors located in Dazar'alor and Boralis. But it only works up to level 49, and to be honest, if I was saving up my service medals, I would be putting them into something like the unique mounts, not these XP potions that are a pretty limited value. Time walking is always fast, and with Classic it's even more so. These are really quick dungeons. Now, we will have non-stop time walking until the event ends, and Classic time walking has actually got a leg up over the other time walkings because it's available from level 10 through to level 80. That is far better than the others, which turn on at level 30. And if all you care about is leveling speed, the best thing to do is to queue as a tank or a healer, which is not to say that DPS is a bad choice, it just means you'll be questing in between your queues. And if you are questing between your queues, I'd certainly recommend places like Red Ridge or Loch Modan for the Alliance and Silver Pine for the Horde, because they're just super quick zones to get XP in. Anyway, with that said, here are some examples from our gameplay. A single pre-Hallows End Deadmines run took us from level 11 to 1 bar off level 16. That is almost 5 levels in only 14 minutes. Later, and with Hallows End being active, Dire Maul Warpwood took a character from level 16 to level 20, and that was including doing the dungeon quests, and it only took 13 minutes. Then a very quick Zul'Farrak run that skipped most of the optional bosses got 3 levels in 10 minutes, but without quest hand-ins. And then a following Stratholme service run entrance only took 10 minutes. It did skip the optional bosses, but it took us from level 23 to 27, which is including all but 1 quest. That is back-to-back dungeons from level 11 to level 27, and you can see just how damn quick they were. Doing all of this will earn tons of Time Warp badges and even Bronze Anniversary tokens. First, classic Time Walking dungeons award 10 badges per boss, including the optionals, and 20 for the end boss. Then your first dungeon of the week will drop an ancient scroll that you can turn in for 500 badges, and that is per character, and it awards the full amount on other characters, which means you could be a little bit degen. If you want, you can just make an allied race character, do a dungeon, because you can do these dungeons from level 10, earn 500, transfer that to another character in your warband, then kill your new allied race character, remake a new one, and there you go, you've invented the Torment Nexus, and you get loads of badges from it. Anyway, for our numbers, just going from level 11 to 27, we earned 300 tokens from the bosses and dungeons, and 500 from the quest, for a total of 800. And then, once you've earned 100 Bronze Anniversary tokens, you'll unlock the ability to earn, in an ungated fashion, tokens from a whole bunch of sources, which does include Time Walking and Codex of Chromie, which will give you 2. Right? So for every Time Walking dungeon you do, you can actually get 2 Bronze Celebration tokens. Now, to unlock this, you need to earn 100. The good news is Blizzard recently buffed the Khazalgar weeklies by like 8x in some cases, so actually getting 100 is way easier than it used to be. Now, you've got all these Time Warp badges, what are you going to do with them? Here's the good news. The vanilla Time Walking vendor has the usual items, including a whole bunch of 541s, which you could use as starting gear once you're at max level, but what's really neat is these 10 items from Season of Discovery. They're particularly lovely because they're the older styling of WoW, but at a modern fidelity, and they cost 1,500 each. So while you're earning all of those badges, leveling up your characters, you'll also be working towards some really nice rewards. Now, with all this XP floating around, there's another new leveling method that you can take advantage of, and that combines really well with Hallows End, because Hallows End will make you want to go and visit all of the different candy buckets in every zone in the game, because that's how that event works, and the new rewards for that event are actually really cool. So, you're going to be going through every zone, and if you're doing that on an Earthen, you'll of course have the Wide-Eyed Wonder racial trait. That gives you 200% extra exploration XP. So you can stack that with the event XP, the Hallows End XP, Darkmoon Fair XP, your Draft of 10 lands, absolutely everything, to just get so many levels from walking about the place. And to give you a quick example of that, in just 1 hour, we got from level 10 to 29. We earned 70 tricky treats, and we explored everywhere from Cape of Stranglethorn all the way up to the Hinterlands. Now, we didn't really do this with a great route. If you had some sort of optimized route, you'd probably be way faster. The point is, anyway, this is a pretty unique way to actually do an allied race. This will help you get that allied race to level 50, which will unlock the Heritage Armor. And in doing that, you'll get enough tasty treats for the new Hallows End items. But I do have a word of caution. Whenever you make your new Earthen, do not use the warband map exploration sharing thing, because that'll reveal the map, which means your new character won't be actually exploring any new zones, so you won't get any XP for that. The other topic then is War Within leveling. Yes, Time Walking dungeons are the fastest way to hit level 80 from level 70, but with all of this stuff, you've got loads of reputation boosts going on, and that means you might actually want to level normally, because when we're talking about trying to level up a whole bunch of characters quickly, we're not necessarily just trying to hit level 80. If we can hit level 80 a bit slower but make lots of other progress, that's also worth it. So, when you've got all of these things stacked up, giving you more rep, you will earn your renowns way faster, especially from the big sources. As an example, if you're doing delves, perhaps a tier 8 bountiful delve, that can give you 1000 reputation. With the boosts, that's 1400 reputation. Also, you can do many of the Khazalgar weeklies as you level, which is really big. Those will give you tons of renown, which will be boosted up, and second, because of Blizzard's new changes, those now drop 8 to 10 anniversary tokens for their completion. And that means that you can level from 70 to 80, still really fast because of all the bonuses, but you'll also get your renowns, and you'll also earn loads of tokens. And even if you're only doing the side quests, well, number one, you'll still level faster, and number two, the reputation from those side quests will be boosted quite a bit. And when you hit max level with decent renowns, it's absolutely amazing. You can just go to all the renowned vendors and pick up loads of freebies. You'll be drowning in weathered and carved crests, you'll have access to tons of high level 584 gear, and yes, that gear costs resonance crystals, but you can just send those over from your main. It is really good. Anyway, the other thing about the event is it will help you get geared up really quick, and again, if you've got the 100 Bronze Celebration token achievement, you'll just earn loads of tokens from doing all of this stuff. And in terms of what's relevant for today in gearing, well, world bosses drop 1 token a day, and that's up to 6 per day per character, and each one has also got a chance of dropping eye level 584 gear. Then there's the Codex of Chromie. Doing that will get you 2 tokens, but also it drops Warbound gear, which actually if you do that, yeah, you'll just have loads of Warbound gear for all your characters. And then the new raid is also good on LFR, and when you do it on LFR, you get 3 tokens per boss and 2 tokens per mini-boss for a total of 34 tokens, and then also you'll get 40 time warped keys for a full run, and 40 keys is enough to buy gear at this vendor. And that's good because it's deterministic, so if there's a really important slot, like say your weapon or a trinket, well, you can just go and directly buy one. Then there's also the raid weekly quest, which will give you a piece of champion gear, as does your first event weekly chest. All of that stuff's great, and that will get you geared up to the point where you can just crack out a whole bunch of tier 8 bountiful delves, and with that you'll have a good great vault, and your character will be absolutely off to the races in terms of gear. So that's basically the situation today. Now, if you want to support the channel, check out today's sponsor, and to not be out of the loop, check out yesterday's video. It'll be linked right here because so much has happened and Blizzard have responded to a lot of feedback.